Welcome to an instructional guide for the installation of a post setup for the OpenStorm node. This setup is ideal for areas where there is no infrastructure available for you to use. First, monitor your site to determine the best setup for your node. If a dam or bridge is located nearby and you have permission, it may be best to use an overhead attachment setup. If not, use a post and simply attach a node to the top of it. If you plan on installing the node using a post, choose a location that will have plenty of sunlight and is not in danger of being knocked down by the environment and is free from any obstructions above. It is also a good idea to keep it out of the sight of the public. If you are using a soil moisture sensor, you will need to dig a hole around 2 feet deep. To minimize the amount of changes you cause, be sure to begin by removing the sod and setting it aside before starting to dig. When you begin to dig, watch for wires and ensure that the soil is good to test. Once you have dug about 2 feet deep, you can then insert the soil moisture sensor. You may need to use a mallet or hammer to gently pound the 3 prongs into the soil in the side of the hole. Using strut mount metal clamps, attach the node to the pole. The pole should be 1.5 inches thick in diameter. Also coil any extra wire that you have. Note that if you are using an ultrasonic sensor, the distance can range from 30 centimeters to 5 meters or 50 centimeters to 10 meters based on the model of sensor you choose. Therefore, choose a pole with the correct distance that you would like to measure. Once you have reattached the strut channel, be sure to tighten it with a wrench. Next, using a post pounder, pound the garden post around 2.5 to 3 feet deep. You may also want to use a level to ensure that the post is pounded in straight if you plan on using a depth sensor. Once the post and node are secured, you can attach the pole to the post. Ensure that the wire goes along the post You may need to create a channel for the wire next to the hole as well. And then, simply line the pole up next to the post and grab the U-bolts. Use U-bolts that are zinc and are 5/16 inch by 2.5 inch by 3.5 inches. Place the curved end around the pole and secure the bolt. To create a tight fit, use a wrench to tighten the nuts and align the bolt with the divots on the post. You may want to use many bolts to ensure that the pole is securely attached to the post. Finally, once your node and post are secure, you can begin to fill the hole back up with dirt. You can then place the sod on top of the freshly placed dirt. This will hopefully create a more natural look that will make it less obvious that any disturbances occurred. Before you leave, it is good to test the electronics to make sure they are running properly and correctly delivering and receiving signals. The blinking LEDs on the board will help to indicate whether or not the electronics are running properly.